Okay, back again. Seems like I haven't really done anything, but I spent a fair few hours working out the level for this drip rail on the other side. This is the last piece of the jigsaw puzzle as far as the rear end goes for this roof section. Obviously I've still got, the whole floor and that frame extension that leads into the bumper bracket, and then that holds the back end up. But all of this has been fabricated, and I really only had about literally this much steel to work with. I had a piece about 1 foot long, and it was from not even from that corner up to where the pin comes up through that door. The doors are on the left hand side, and that's all I had to work with basically for the whole structure of this door frame. There wasn't anything else there. The doors weren't on the vehicle, so actually one door was on that pillar over there. So you can imagine what levels of hell I've been through this afternoon trying to work out what goes where and gaps, and it's a lot, and you basically go backwards for more times than you go forward. So I have no idea where the drip rail meets the door bracket that you see that I made there with the little indentations and then the little pinholes that go into the doors. I have no idea where they join up, so I have no reference. All up in that corner there, that's all just next level in there. None of it's together, and it's all just, it's like two pieces of paper in the wind. It's not, I've got a tack on the roof to the pillar on the outside, but it's way out now that I thought it was exact, and it all gets back to what I said about, going backwards before you go forward. So what do I say? Yeah, it's hard. It's the end of the day and I'm pretty tired. I mean, I started work at 11 PM last night, and it's now 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I work nights, so I had a couple hours this morning sleep, but yeah, the days get long. I'm just trying to work out, I've noticed that the front has started to droop down, and I'm wondering whether it's because this rail is kicked out. If you look on the inside, you'll see that it's lifted up. Probably like that might be better. You can see that this section here, as it goes right up to the end, it kicks up, and I reckon it's a bit like the boomerang effect. It sort of curls out, and the roof is it's a certain distance across, and if it's being pulled out this way slightly, even by a couple of millimeters, it's going to affect over there, and if it's welded in, then it's going to stretch it along the front, I'm gathering. So because it can't go forwards from this point back because of the weld, the only way it can go is stretch along the outside edge. So I've just noticed since welding this in that, if you remember back a couple of videos, I don't know how many, these two were dead nuts, right? They were perfectly level, this one and the other side. Now it's dropped down about 3-4 millimeters. So obviously the line up there is incorrect. Either, I mean, it could be so many different things. It could be the height here is too, like, instead of being where it's supposed to be, it could be too high. It could be slightly back. This pillar might not be level. It could be kicked out. There's so much that I'm trying to work through. Obviously there's no frame jig here, it's just all off the cuff. And so I've employed the use of my level. I'll just flip the light off so you can hear my guard chihuahuas in the background. They're great guard dogs. So the level's pretty good. Oh, you just have to wait to see it stop. But what you're looking at is this lip on the other side. The laser level is just kissing that lip there, and it's just kissing the lip over here. There's a bow in it in the center because I accidentally bent it when I was trying to put the doors in, so there's a little bend in it, but at the furthest points it's level. So my theory would be to weld it where that clamp is. There is a gap between the door and that bottom frame, so I know the doors will open, so that's pretty important. But I reckon between those two bits of metal, the two fresh bits that you see there, they're like this. So I reckon throw a tack in there, and then maybe throw a tack in up here. Now, yes, the frame rail is sitting on top of the drip rail is sitting on top of the old drip rail, so there's about 2 mils there. But I think 2 mils is okay. I think I can take that distance up when I do that bottom frame. I can just jack that back up 2 mils. All I've got to do is make sure it's level across this way and this way. But I reckon I'll tack it in there in the morning, and then this front area is all just so wrong, it's not funny right now. It's close, but it's just not right. So tack, 2 tacks. The door's got 1 hinge in, and this has got a gap between the doors here, and there is a gap there. This section here is all bent now, and you can see that it's off square. So the bottom part, the old metal, is good, but the top part has been pulled in, and I think that what the problem is the distance from where that pin goes up the door to there isn't correct. I just think it's a matter of cutting that, so that piece and that piece, cutting them and then spreading it out till the laser makes it level, and then that'll give me the correct door gap, because I've got a door gap all the way up until about there. I mean, there is a door gap, but it closes dramatically. So that's the door gap, and then if you go up, it gets smaller and smaller. So it's just a lot to take in. Normally what I do is, like, if I've got a problem like this, I'll just take it all in and then I'll sleep on it, and then it'll come to me what I've got to do. It's normally the best way to do it. I've learnt that going gun-ho with this sort of stuff, you end up making more mistakes and spending more time on the angle grinder. It's one thing I don't do a lot of nowadays is use an angle grinder. My first car, I reckon I had the angle grinder going for 3 hours a day constantly. So I very rarely use the grinder here now. I've got a threadless shear, shrinker and stretcher, hammer and dollies, and that normally gets me out of trouble. Anyway, I'm just rambling, but yeah, that's where I'm at. So critical point, I've got to line the roof up, the front clip, the doors, and then the back end as well, and it's all got to be level and it's all got to be equiescent throughout, as in equiescent as in this distance to here, from here to here to here to here is correct. And then if you go from diagonal down to there, and then diagonal to there, and then diagonal from there all the way down to the bottom corner, and then diagonal from up here all the way down to that bottom corner, they should all be square. So I reckon if I get a couple of tacks in, I'll reevaluate tomorrow, but I don't want to go any further right now. Anyway, I'll leave you with that. Let me know what you think. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that know a lot more about this stuff than I do, and yeah, comments are good because it helps you process this sort of stuff. So anyway, see you tomorrow.